Africa is entering a new era, fueled by a dynamic partnership with China. China's latest move, eliminating tariffs on 98% of African exports, opening its vast market to the continent. This isn't just about trade, it's a strategic shift, empowering African producers to move beyond raw materials and into manufacturing. The policy aims to spark industrialization, create jobs, and reduce reliance on foreign aid. Unlike the West's aid-based approach, China's model is built on trade, investment, and respect for African sovereignty. The zero-tariff policy stands in stark contrast to protectionist measures elsewhere, offering Africa a more open, collaborative future. As global power dynamics shift, Africa is asserting its agency, shaping its own destiny on the world stage. China's actions are accelerating this transformation, providing tools for unprecedented economic growth. The China-Africa partnership is set to redefine global trade and alliances for decades to come. A new dawn is breaking for Africa, one of opportunity, agency, and global influence. China's engagement in Africa goes beyond economics, it's about security too. In Burkina Faso, China is helping install 900 surveillance cameras to boost urban safety. This Smart Burkina project links prosperity with stability, protecting investments and infrastructure. Security is essential for economic growth. Without it, trade and development stall. China's dual approach, opening markets and securing them, offers a comprehensive solution to Africa's challenges. These efforts are part of China's Belt and Road and global security initiatives, blending infrastructure with safety. The Burkina Faso project shows how trade and security can work hand in hand for sustainable progress. Together, these strategies signal a new era of sophisticated, integrated partnership between China and Africa. Economic opportunity now stands on a foundation of safety and stability. China's zero-tariff policy, announced at the Forum on China-Africa Cooperation, is a game-changer. 98% of African exports now have duty-free access to China's 1.4 billion consumers. This opens doors for African businesses to scale up and diversify beyond raw materials. The policy covers not just commodities, but also semi-finished and finished goods, encouraging value addition at home. Local processing means more jobs, stronger economies, and less vulnerability to global price swings. Small and medium-sized African enterprises gain a real shot at growth in the world's largest market. China's approach is about mutual benefit, moving past the old donor-recipient dynamic. The timing is symbolic. As protectionism rises elsewhere, China champions free trade for the global south. The zero-tariff policy is more than economics. It's a diplomatic move to cement China as Africa's leading partner. It's a powerful step toward shared prosperity. China's zero-tariff policy covers over 8,700 African products: agriculture, mining, manufacturing, and more. From coffee and cocoa to textiles and electronics, nearly every sector stands to benefit. In 2023, China-Africa trade hit a record $282 billion, and the zero-tariff policy is set to boost African exports even further. Lower tariffs make African goods more competitive, encouraging Chinese businesses to source from Africa. The policy drives industrialization, letting countries like Burkina Faso export finished goods, not just raw materials. This shift means more jobs, skills, and integration into global supply chains. With 53 of 54 African nations included, the benefits are widespread and inclusive. The unified approach strengthens the Forum on China-Africa Cooperation as the main platform for partnership. This isn't a patchwork of deals, it's a strategic, continent-wide offer with transformative potential. Africa's economic landscape is being reshaped on a grand scale. China's open-door policy for Africa stands in sharp contrast to Western protectionism, especially the US tariffs of recent years. While the US built trade barriers, China dismantled them for Africa's poorest nations. African leaders see two models, one closing off, the other creating opportunity. Even long-standing US initiatives like AGOA face uncertainty and political strings, while China's offer is stable and long-term. The difference is clear. China's approach is about South-South cooperation and economic diplomacy, not conditional aid. For Africa, the choice is between restrictive walls and welcoming doors. China's reliability and scale make its trade offer compelling for the continent's future. As Africa navigates the global economy, China's open doors may prove the key to its development aspirations. The world is watching as Africa chooses its partners for the 21st century. The era of new alliances and new possibilities has begun. For generations, many African nations have exported raw materials. Countries rich in cocoa, coffee, cotton, and crude oil, have often shipped these commodities abroad, only to import finished products at a much higher cost. China's zero-tariff policy disrupts this economic model by eliminating duties on processed goods. This creates an incentive for African countries to invest in domestic processing and manufacturing, capturing a larger portion of the value chain. It is a direct invitation for Africa to transition from being a continental quarry and farm to a global factory and workshop. This move represents a crucial step towards industrialization, reducing vulnerability to volatile commodity prices and building a more resilient economy. The opportunity extends across numerous sectors, promising a widespread industrial awakening. The zero-tariff policy acts as a catalyst, making the business case for building processing plants and competing globally. This transformation is a strategic imperative for the continent's long-term development, fostering local industries and building self-sufficiency. The zero-tariff access to China's market unlocks this potential, fueling a continent-wide value addition revolution. The true impact of China's zero-tariff policy will be felt in the growth of local businesses and the creation of sustainable jobs. Small and medium-sized enterprises, or SMEs, are the lifeblood of African economies. The removal of Chinese tariffs on 98% of goods directly addresses the challenge of SMEs accessing international markets. This newfound market access is a powerful engine for job creation. These are not just jobs in the factories themselves, but across the entire ecosystem. This broad-based employment growth is essential for raising living standards and reducing poverty. Moreover, the policy can spark a wave of entrepreneurship and innovation, empowering a new generation of African business leaders to think globally. When local businesses thrive, wealth is more likely to be retained and reinvested within the community, supporting local schools, healthcare, and infrastructure. In this way, China's zero-tariff policy is a catalyst for social transformation. China's zero-tariff policy needs physical infrastructure to support the export of finished goods. This is where the Belt and Road Initiative, or BRI, becomes critically important. The BRI has invested billions across Africa in modern ports, railways, highways, and power plants. The zero-tariff policy provides the commercial logic for these projects, ensuring they are vital economic corridors. The synergy extends to energy and digital infrastructure, like fiber optic cables, crucial for managing supply chains. This combination of preferential trade access and strategic infrastructure investment provides a blueprint for Africa's economic transformation. The zero-tariff policy isn't charity, it's a strategic move to secure resources for China's economy. China needs raw materials like minerals and agricultural products. By fostering economic ties, China ensures it remains the preferred partner for African resource-exporting countries. This is about future-proofing its economy and building resilient relationships. This creates a dependency, integrating African economies with the Chinese market. The policy also builds political goodwill, positioning China as a leader of the developing world. This translates to diplomatic support and soft power, strengthening China's global standing. China's strategic play in Africa is central to its ambition to reshape the global order. As China works to create a multipolar world, Africa, with its vast resources, is a critical arena. By becoming the continent's indispensable economic and security partner, China enhances its global stature. This demonstrates a viable alternative development model distinct from the Western-led consensus. China promotes new international bodies like the Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank and elevates forums like BRICS, providing alternatives to Western institutions. Ultimately, China seeks to build a network of nations that are economically and politically aligned, solidifying its status as a global superpower. Section 3. Economic Statecraft: Winning Hearts, Minds, and Markets. China's approach to Africa exemplifies economic statecraft, using economic tools to achieve foreign policy objectives. The zero-tariff policy is a strategic investment designed to capture markets and embed Chinese standards. By opening its doors to African goods, China encourages African economies to orient themselves eastward, securing imports and paving the way for Chinese exports. Chinese companies are positioned to meet the increasing demand for consumer goods and technology. Infrastructure projects and policies like zero-tariff create opportunities for small businesses, fostering a positive perception of China. China is building a comprehensive relationship with Africa, securing resources, building alliances, and expanding its global influence through economic incentives. Burkina Faso has launched Smart Burkina, an urban security project with Chinese technology firms. It aims to combat rising urban crime by deploying a surveillance network. 900 CCTV cameras are being installed in Ouagadougou and Bobo Dioulasso. Centralized monitoring centers will use real-time video analysis and facial recognition. This provides security forces tools to deter crime and gather evidence. Huawei is managing the project, providing hardware, knowledge transfer, and training. Smart Burkina aims to create safer urban environments, deter crime, and improve citizen security. The Smart Burkina initiative is intrinsically linked to the economic partnership between Burkina Faso and China. The project serves as a crucial security layer to protect economic opportunities. For trade to flourish, there has to be a stable and secure environment. By bolstering urban security, Burkina Faso is making itself a more attractive destination for investment. The new surveillance infrastructure is designed to protect key economic assets. A safe highway is essential for moving goods from a factory to a cargo ship efficiently. The cameras on the streets of Ouagadougou are directly supporting the country's industrial and export ambitions. It has a vested interest in ensuring these projects are protected from security threats, ensuring their long-term viability. Ultimately, prosperity and security are two sides of the same coin. The security partnership provides the confidence needed for the economy to grow. The Smart Burkina project is a manifestation of China's Global Security Initiative, GSI. Launched by President Xi Jinping, the GSI lays out China's vision for a new international security architecture. The partnership with Burkina Faso provides a case study of the GSI in action, demonstrating China's willingness to engage in peace and security. This initiative positions China as an alternative security partner to traditional Western powers. As some West African nations pivot away from their former colonial rulers, they're seeking new partners. China's offer of technology and training, framed within the GSI, is proving attractive. The success of the Smart Burkina project could serve as a blueprint for similar collaborations across the Sahel. This would significantly expand China's role as a key security actor, exporting its model of tech-driven governance. Critics raise concerns about the potential for surveillance technology to be used for political repression. Nevertheless, the project is a success for China's GSI, linking security assistance to economic development. It's a demonstration of China's evolving role in Africa's complex security landscape. The deepening of China-Africa ties has triggered a complex reaction from Western governments. On one side, there's skepticism, viewing China's moves as aggressive plays for strategic dominance and debt-trap diplomacy. This view is amplified in Western media, warning of China's economic trap in Africa. A more pragmatic viewpoint acknowledges China is meeting a demand for capital, infrastructure, and market access. Dismissing China's initiatives as predatory ignores the tangible benefits for African nations. Competition with China could be beneficial, pushing Western nations to improve their offers. The West should focus on presenting a better alternative through increased investment and engaging with African nations as equal partners. The intensifying China-Africa partnership has undeniably sparked a new era of geopolitical competition on the continent, often described as a new great game for influence. Western powers, particularly the United States and the European Union, are now scrambling to formulate a coherent response to counter China's rapidly expanding footprint. For years, Western engagement was often characterized by aid programs tied to governance reforms, a model that is now being challenged by China's state-led, infrastructure-focused approach. The West is realizing that it can no longer take its historical influence in Africa for granted and must actively compete to remain relevant. In response, the United States and its allies have launched their own initiatives aimed at providing an alternative to China's Belt and Road Initiative. Programs like the G7's Partnership for Global Infrastructure and Investment and the European Union's Global Gateway have been announced with pledges of hundreds of billions of dollars for infrastructure projects in developing countries with a strong focus on Africa. These initiatives emphasize value-driven and high-standard investments, promoting transparency, environmental sustainability, and fair labor practices. This is a direct attempt to differentiate their offer from China's, which is often criticized for lack of transparency and unsustainable debt. This rivalry extends beyond economics into the realm of diplomacy and soft power. Western leaders have increased the frequency of their visits to Africa, engaging in high-level diplomatic tours. They are also ramping up investments in cultural exchange, education, and media to promote Western values and counter Chinese narratives. However, they face a significant challenge. The uncertain future of key trade agreements like AGOA, which is due for renewal in 2025, creates a sense of unpredictability. African nations worry that access to the US market could be revoked or tied to political conditions, making China's long-term offer appear far more stable and appealing. Ultimately, this renewed competition presents both risks and opportunities for Africa. The risk is that the continent could become a pawn in a larger geopolitical struggle between global powers. The opportunity, however, is that African nations can leverage this competition to their advantage. By skillfully navigating the interests of both China and the West, they can negotiate better deals and attract more investment. For the first time in a long time, African leaders find themselves in a powerful bargaining position, able to choose the partnerships that best serve their vision for a prosperous and sovereign future. China's engagement presents vast opportunities, but also significant risks for African nations. Over-reliance on a single economic partner like China risks creating a new dependency. Weak governance and corruption could exacerbate existing problems with Chinese investment. Debt sustainability is another critical roadblock, with concerns about repaying loans for infrastructure projects. Overcoming roadblocks like poor infrastructure and skills shortages is crucial to benefit from trade opportunities. Building productive capacity requires investment in education, training, and local infrastructure. The security partnership with Burkina Faso highlights another double-edged sword: the potential misuse of advanced surveillance technology. While the Smart Burkina project is intended to enhance urban safety, the same powerful tools, CCTV networks with facial recognition and data analysis capabilities, could easily be turned against political opponents, activists, and journalists. In countries with weak democratic institutions and a poor track record on human rights, there is a significant risk that such technology could become an instrument of state repression, used to stifle dissent and monitor citizens. This poses a direct threat to civil liberties and the development of open democratic societies, creating a chilling effect on free expression. To mitigate this risk, it is imperative for African governments adopting this technology to establish robust legal and ethical frameworks to govern its use. This includes creating independent oversight bodies to monitor the surveillance systems, enacting clear laws that define the legitimate purposes for which data can be collected and used, and ensuring there are mechanisms for public accountability. Civil society organizations and the media must have the freedom to scrutinize these systems and raise alarms about potential abuses. Without these crucial checks and balances, the promise of enhanced security could come at the unacceptable cost of individual freedom, turning safe cities into surveillance states. In response to these multifaceted challenges, African governments must adopt proactive and transparent policies. It is not enough to simply accept the opportunities offered by China. They must be managed strategically to maximize benefits and minimize risks. This involves diversifying economic partnerships to avoid over-reliance on any single country. It means investing heavily in local processing and manufacturing to ensure that value is created at home. Most importantly, it requires a steadfast commitment to good governance, the rule of law, and inclusive development. Governments must work to create a business environment that is fair and transparent, where all citizens have the opportunity to participate in and benefit from economic growth. Ultimately, the success of the China-Africa partnership rests as much in the hands of African leaders as it does in Beijing. The zero-tariff policy and security collaborations are powerful tools, but they are not a panacea for the continent's development challenges. True transformation will require African nations to build strong, accountable institutions, invest in their own people, and foster vibrant civil societies that can provide oversight. The journey ahead will be complex, demanding wise leadership and a clear-eyed understanding of both the immense opportunities and the serious risks involved. Africa's ability to turn this potential into lasting progress will depend on its capacity to navigate these roadblocks with foresight and integrity. In the grand chessboard of global geopolitics, China's latest moves in Africa represent a paradigm shift. The dual strategy of zero-tariff policies, combined with security partnerships, is a vision for a new era of South-South cooperation, addressing Africa's need for market access to drive industrialization and stability to protect investments. China has presented a compelling development model, an alternative to Western aid. This strategy has the potential to be transformative, shifting Africa to a hub of manufacturing. This can create jobs and build resilient economies. Collaborations in security can help create a stable environment. It could accelerate Africa's rise as a major global player, redefining trade routes. However, success is not guaranteed. and the path forward is laden with risks. The onus is on African leaders to commit to sustainable development. China has opened a door. It has presented a historic chance to reshape its economic destiny. But it is Africa that must choose to walk through it. Yet, the final chapter will be written in Africa by Africans. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Liberty Universe.